We have some major breaking news from the latest efforts by Donald Trump's DOJ to ask the judge to dismiss the birthright citizenship lawsuit against his birthright citizenship executive order. Why? Well, let's figure that out in today's video. This article is by Tucson.com. The article is titled, DOJ asks judge to toss lawsuit by states over Trump's birthright citizenship order. Titled February 3rd. Updated 18 hours ago. And the article reads, the Department of Justice says Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays has no legal right to try to overturn President Trump's executive order abolishing birthright citizenship. In a 60-page legal brief, Brett Shumate, who is the acting Assistant Attorney General of the agency's Civil Rights Division, says that Mays and other state attorneys general lack stands to challenge the order. Oh, please. You act like a judge is gonna fall for that and fall for his bogus lawyer's moves again. Look what happened with the hush money case that he was convicted of 34 felony times for falsifying business records. They lost that one. So will a judge agree with this motion to dismiss? Hopefully not. Put simply, he is telling U.S. District Judge John Coughenour that the only people who have the right to go into federal court are those who are somehow armed by an action. And in this case, Shumate wrote, there is no such evidence. He acknowledged that states are claiming that the order will face increased costs of having to provide health care, health insurance, and administrative services to those individuals who, under the Trump order, would no longer be considered citizens and therefore be ineligible for federal benefits. Yeah, I highly doubt right now that I just read that brief couple paragraphs, that that the judge is going to agree and dismiss the lawsuit, which is rightfully what they should not do, what Judge John Coughenour should not do. Continuing with the article. But Shoemate pointed out there is nothing in Trump's order issued when he took office on January 20th that requires the states to provide those services. Quote, because the states have voluntarily chosen to provide certain benefits to aliens, the costs they incur to do so are the result of an independent choice by the state's legislatures and not attributable to the citizenship executive order itself, end quote. He told the judge, calling these, quote, self-inflicted injuries. It is true, Shoemate said, that there is a federal law that requires hospitals, including public hospitals, to provide care in cases of emergency, but he said that is based on a different law that governs hospitals that choose to participate in Medicare. Anyway, he said, there is a path for those denied citizenship to appeal a provision of the Immigration of Nationality Act, but that right, he said, has to be handled on a case-by-case basis, and if that's not enough to convince Coughenour to toss the lawsuit or at least dissolve his restraining order at a hearing later this week, Shoemate has a series of other arguments about whether the 14th Amendment really means what challengers to the order are contending. In fact, he pointed out that the Supreme Court in a 1998 case that Mays and her allies are relying on to overturn the order, recognized an exception to birthright citizenship for, quote, citizen or children born of alien enemies in hostile occupation, close quote, and in this case, Shoemate said, the president said the, quote, unprecedented flood of illegal immigrants, end quote, resulted in millions of people coming here illegally, many of who, quote, represent significant threats to national security and public safety, end quote. But here is the thing, Shoemate. If you want to put your 2 cents in, you should be also looking at the fact that these immigrants are essential. They pick our crops, pick our fruits, pick our dairy products for our economy. Hence, President Donald Trump, or as you guys call him, Daddy Donald, or Daddy, he is bogusly screwing up our economy without you guys even knowing. He is going to make our gas prices and groceries higher than what he promised. He cannot bring down groceries, let alone bring down gas. Gas is not even in his jurisdiction. He can't. He lied to us. Or more so, he lied to his supporters. He didn't lie to me. Continuing with the article. Quote, plaintiffs' maximalist reading of the citizenship clause would require extending birthright citizenship to children of individuals who present such threats, even including unlawful enemy combatants who enter this country in an effort to create sleeper cells or other hostile networks, end quote, he said. Hanging in the balance is Trump's order spelling out who is no longer entitled to automatic presumption of citizenship that has been the practice. One involves cases where the mother was not legally present in the country and the father was neither a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident. The other involves women who were in the country legally but temporarily, such as on a visa, and the father or it's supposed to be was, either a citizen or lawful permanent resident. The teeth in the order directs federal agencies not to issue citizenship documents to those who fall under either circumstances and not to accept documents issued by state, local, or other government purporting to recognize citizenship. All that goes to what is the meaning of a provision in the 14th Amendment saying that all persons born or naturalized in the United States and, quote, subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens. Approved after the Civil War, it was designed to ensure that African Americans, including former slaves, had citizenship. But in that 1898 case, the United States Supreme Court said that applied to Wong Kim Ark, who was born in San Francisco to Chinese immigrants. At age 21, he traveled to China to visit his parents who had returned to their home country, but when he returned, he was denied entry on the grounds he was not a citizen based on the 1882 Chinese Exclusion Act. In a 6-2 ruling, the High Court declared that the, quote, explicit, end quote, language of the 14th Amendment voided that interpretation. Shoemate pointed out that the justices in that case did say the parents were, quote, subject to the Emperor of China, end quote. But the court also noted that they, quote, have a permanent domicile and residence in the United States, end quote, and were carrying on business. That, he said, is not the case here. Quote, temporary visitors to the United States by definition retain permanent homes in foreign countries, end quote, Shoemate said and wrote. Before we move on, ladies and gentlemen, let's first take a look at the question and see if we can't find the correct answer by searching it up to verify this dude and his lawlessness of the subject. Well, guys, it looks like I'm gonna have to do some digging after this video. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it seems like I can't get that clip in the video. I will find out the information and I will pin it in a comment below. Continuing with the article. Quote, and illegal aliens by definition have no right to even be present in the United States, much less a right to make a lawful residence here, end quote. He continued, begin quote, instead, as a matter of law, illegal aliens formally retain the foreign domicile because they have not yet been accepted to reside anywhere else, end quote. And Shoemate has another bit of history backing his argument. He noted that at the time of that 1989 Supreme Court ruling, even the justices acknowledged that members of Indian tribes also were not entitled to citizenship, despite the fact that there was no question but that they were born within the borders of the United States. Quote, yet members of Indian tribes are plainly subjected to the United States, end quote, regulatory powers, end quote. Shoemate said the same argument that challengers to the executive order are making to say that entitle those born here to parents without legal status are entitled to automatic citizenship. It was not until 1942 when President Calvin Coolidge signed the Indian Citizenship Act that granted citizenship to status to all Native Americans born in the United States regardless of tribal affiliation. Begin quote, illegal aliens and temporary visitors have far weaker connections to the United States than do members of Indian tribes, end quote, Shoemate told the judge. Quote, if the Constitution or if the United States link with Indian tribes does not suffice, excuse me, as a constitution matter for birthright citizenship, its weaker link with illegal aliens and temporary visitors even more obviously does not do so. Well, everyone, that is going to conclude it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. Before I close out today's video, please do make sure that if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. Lastly, please also make sure that you share the video out. Help me reach my goal for the channel of 90 subscribers. We are currently at 77 subscribers, which means we only have 12 more subscribers to go. Lastly, if you have not followed me on my other social medias to stay informed and up to date on when I post a brand new video to the channel, my social links, threads, favorites, and as well as my Instagram will all be linked down below in the video description, along with the link to this very important breaking news article. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to today's video, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.